It was barely 9 in the morning when I stumbled out onto my deck, coffee in hand, praying the universe would give me just one damn peaceful morning by the lake. But right then, like a migraine made of sunlight, my day exploded, a blinding orange sticker screaming from the hull of my old fishing boat. Violation. Immediate removal ordered by HOA. You ever get that sense you're living in some kind of cosmic sitcom, like the universe has you on candid camera? That was me, standing there barefoot, coffee scorching my toes, staring at my boat like it had just been tagged in a crime scene lineup. And there she was, Karen Tillman, HOA president, Bluetooth blinking like she was awaiting classified orders, clutching her clipboard like it held the nuclear launch codes, and aiming her pointer finger at my boat as if I'd parked a missile launcher on the dock. I almost laughed. Actually, I did, right as coffee splashed over my toes, the pain snapping me back to the present. Karen was already barking from across the dock, voice bouncing over the water, telling me I had 48 hours to move my boat or face daily fines, county citations, and, get this, possible revoked lake access. A neat trick, considering I actually own the damn lake. Not leased. Not rented. I mean deed in the safe, water rights etched in county records, every last cattail and muddy shoreline. But Karen, in her full HOA regalia, hadn't bothered to read the fine print. I knew right then this was about to turn from a headache to a hurricane. So, I set my mug down real gentle, like I was loading a cannon, and walked barefoot across the gravel, pebbles digging into my feet, and asked her, as calm as I could muster, if she was absolutely sure she wanted to do this. She didn't even blink, just muttered, "He's non-compliant," into her headset and strutted off like she'd handed down the word of God. That's when I realized ignoring the sticker wasn't going to cut it. If the HOA wanted a fight over a boat on my lake, I was about to give them a front row seat to Property Law 101, starring yours truly. At first, the escalation was almost funny. Every morning, I'd find a new fine taped to my door, signed in Karen's looping blue pen, like she was autographing memorabilia for the world's angriest fan club. She even ran my boat's mugshot in the HOA newsletter, zoomed in, circled in red, like I was some kind of community menace, endangering lake harmony. I about died laughing, right up until I overheard her at the clubhouse plotting to ban my dock next. That's when the game changed. She wasn't just after my boat. She was coming for my sanctuary, the one piece of peace I'd carved out for myself. So I called up Martin, my old college roommate turned county assessor. We met at the property line, him grinning as he unrolled the full survey map across his truck bed, tracing every squiggly line with a fingertip. "You own every inch," he said, dock to mud. In fact, the precious HOA's boundary ended a full 6 feet from my shoreline. If I really wanted, Martin reminded me, I could kick every single HOA boat off my lake, every paddleboard, every inflatable unicorn float. That night, standing on my dock with the moon scattered across the water like loose change, I realized the best revenge isn't loud. It's legal, silent, and final. So instead of moving my boat, I moved paperwork. Next morning, my lawyer drafted formal revocation notices, 100 of them, thick cardstock, declaring all HOA boating privileges null and void on account of trespassing. I handed them out at the next Saturday brunch like party favors at a wake. Karen's face cycled from sunburned pink to dead pale as she read the first paragraph. She tried to invoke bylaws and historic use, but my lawyer, sunglasses on and cool as ice, slid the survey and deed across the table. The room went silent, then erupted. Phones started buzzing, board members blustering, Karen shouting for votes nobody was giving. But that was just the first move. Monday, I put up new signs at every entry, private waters. Access restricted. Violators will be towed. Laminated maps, property lines in bold red. By noon, 3 kayaks had retreated to their driveways. Karen left me a voicemail that started fake friendly and ended with her slamming a drawer so hard I could hear it through the phone. I called my lawyer again. Lease agreements this time, mailed certified, premium rates for Karen and her clique. I watched her open her envelope from my kitchen window. Confusion, rage, disbelief, all in one tragic ballet across her face. That night, the HOA scrambled for an emergency meeting. I wasn't invited, but Tom, neighbor, former treasurer turned HOA outcast, called me, barely holding in laughter. Karen tried spinning the whole mess as a miscommunication, but people wanted to know why she'd started a war without checking the damn map. You gotta picture this. Karen, in the next newsletter, now painting me as a rogue landholder, a selfish water hoarder, practically calling me a villain from a comic book. It was so passive-aggressive, I framed it. Not to be outdone, she organized a community paddle parade, flotilla of decorated kayaks, the whole bit, trying to shame me. But trespassing is trespassing, even if you're wearing a glittery life vest. So I called the sheriff, Joe Keller, who just happens to be my cousin's brother-in-law. Joe showed up, flashing lights and all, and issued the politest warnings you've ever heard, reminding everyone that yes, in fact, the law was on my side. Karen tried waving her newsletter at him like the Constitution. Joe, stone-faced, said, "Ma'am, are you making a point or just waving wet paper?" That exchange, oh, that went viral. 30,000 views, popcorn emojis, you name it. After that, Karen tried everything. She called a town forum. Only 5 people showed, and 1 was there for the donuts. She built a lake usage committee packed with retirees, failed realtors, and dentists who wore Bluetooth in both ears like he was waiting for a CIA drop. The committee tried pitching rotating dock schedules, time allocations, bureaucratic nonsense. I slid them an invoice, retroactive lease fees, every launch documented. Dennis choked on his coffee. Karen turned a color not found in nature. One lady gasped. Another guy whispered, "Maybe we should just pay him." And just like that, the mask slipped. From there, the floodgates opened. 17 emails asking for leases, senior discounts, clarifications. I made it clear, my beef was with Karen's power grab, not my neighbors. Karen, desperate to regain control, tried a neighborhood vote. Flopped. Tried a boycott. Got more no than yes, plus some artistic middle fingers doodled in the margins. She filed a formal complaint with the County Oversight Committee, dragged me to a 2-hour hearing, color-coded binders, poster boards with my fishing photos circled in red like I was America's Most Wanted. I brought my lawyer, my deed, my survey. The panel ruled for me in 10 minutes flat. Karen tried to appeal, but, well, turns out, appeals need more than hurt feelings. Her next act? A Save Our Shoreline gala. 10 people, a canceled band, cheap wine, elevator jazz. I installed solar boundary lights. Local paper ran a story. Local man wins back lake from HOA. Suddenly, neighbors started coming to me for advice on HOA bullies. Karen, never one to bow out gracefully, declared this was just a ripple in a larger wave. Thing is, I knew the next phase was about to be her undoing. Tom and I dug into the bylaws, found the magic clause. 2 validated complaints, 30% of member signatures, and you get a recall vote. So I went old school. No drama online, no public spectacle, just mailbox conversations, personal letters. Quiet, but steady. 35 signatures, hand-delivered to the HOA secretary. 7 days later, recall vote set. Karen called it a smear campaign, held a unity cookout, wore a sash, burned the hot dogs, begged for sympathy. The next day, a newsletter accused me of plotting to drain the lake for a helipad. No one bought it. Day of the vote, clubhouse was packed, tension thick as molasses. Karen gave a speech, tearful, defensive, warning of chaos if she was booted. Votes were counted, 63 for recall, 18 against. No cheer, just a deep, collective sigh. Karen didn't say a word, just gathered her things and left. Heels echoing like the end credits rolling. Tom was instated, rules got trimmed in half, my lake recognized as private, committee dissolved. Next morning, I took my boat out at sunrise. The lake was calm, the air felt lighter, neighbors waved. Nobody worshipped at the altar of HOA. But, and there's always a but, as I paddled by the clubhouse, I spotted a new sign. Karen's Clubhouse, members only. She'd started her own rogue HOA. Fake rules, private events, the same handwriting as her violation slips. A loyal few clung to her rulebook, but most folks just wanted their lives back. Her moves got sadder. Noise complaints, fake lake safety warnings, mailbox flyers calling me a community threat. I gathered every scrap of evidence and, one morning, filed a complaint for harassment and unlawful distribution of personal data. Here's the twist. While Karen was hosting brunches in her fake clubhouse, I quietly bought the land it stood on. The parcel had quietly gone into foreclosure, and I snapped it up. The county called, deed finalized. Karen's last throne? Now mine. The next morning, I posted fresh signs, private property. Lawson Lake Holdings. Unauthorized access prohibited. Word got around quick. Karen's supporters vanished. She called, texted, even showed up at my dock, accusing me of betrayal, conspiracy, stealing her legacy. I didn't say a word. Just handed her a copy of the deed. 48 hours to vacate. Anything left will be donated. That was it. She left quietly. No scene, no drama, just gone. After Karen, the building became a real community center. Art classes, scout meetings, science nights for kids who'd never touched a lake before. The air changed. Neighbors brought muffins, not complaints. One day, Tom handed me a piece of paper. Former HOA president fined for unauthorized signage. Tiny, poetic justice. But I didn't gloat. The lake was finally just a lake, not a battleground, not a pawn in someone's power trip. And I'll admit, not everything's a happy ending. One evening, I spotted Karen alone, arms folded, staring out over the water. Not angry, not sorry, just lost, like someone who finally realized she'd been fighting a battle nobody else wanted. She read my new sign, turned, and disappeared into the dusk. A week later, we had a cookout at the news center. No banners, no rules, just laughter, good food, kids skipping stones. An old neighbor clapped me on the back, said, "Didn't know we needed someone to own the lake until someone did it right." I took that to heart. The quietest revolutions start when someone just refuses to move their boat. That night, I lit a lantern at the end of the dock and watched the ripples dance across the water. No more stickers, no more drama, just peace, the kind you only earn by standing your ground and saying, "No, not today." So, what do you think? Who was right? Who was wrong? What does justice even look like when your neighbor goes to war? Let me know in the comments, because maybe the only line that really matters is the one you refuse to let anyone else cross.